What up, YouTube? Got a Sarge here. Monday evening in the backyard. Time to get a session in. Shout out to the Craft Nation crew. What up, my peeps? A big shout out to everybody that's out there in Vegas right now. Much love to George from CY. Yo, brother, glad to see you back on this side of the pond enjoying yourself for a bit, man. Pleasant surprise. Very nice. Nicely done, sir. Hope you have fun out there in Vegas, man. Right. Yeah, I've been a little radio silence here lately. Actually, I've been helping my nephew work on his car, so I just had my ass full trying to help him get that. He had an oil leak in his Dodge Charger coming from the oil pan that was just dripping oil left and right, and it was only from the oil plug, from the drain plug. But let me tell you, trying to get that thing stopped was a bear. Had to run a tap into it, put in an oversized bolt. It shouldn't have been difficult, but it ended up being quite a chore. So, because the alternative to that would have been to change the oil pan, which means dropping the rack and pinion, lifting the engine, a whole bunch of... No, yours truly wasn't about to get into all that. So, anyhow, like I said, that's why I've been radio silence here lately, because for the last couple of days I've been helping him with that. Actually, for the whole of last week. And then, actually just went to the casino there a couple of days ago. So, this is going to be my little kind of a trip report somewhat. So, and it's cold as shit in the backyard, so I got this space heater going, and right now, I think I got it cranked up too much because it's burning up my damn head. But yep, so went down to my local casino here last week. What was it? Tuesday, Wednesday, came back late Thursday, and you know, just been catching up on everything since I got back. So we got down there, got checked in down the road at Choctaw. You know, wife went her way, I went my way. We had some friends with us, so they all took off the other way. You know me, headed straight to the craps pit. Got down there, the tables were $15 tables, like I expected. But guess what? It was packed. Could not get a slot on the table at all. Okay, so I just stood around and watched the action, try to pick up who was shooting well, see if I could see any control shooters, practice shooters. A lot of randoms, a lot of randos was on the table. So watch a guy have some, probably a couple of decent rolls while I was standing there waiting. One guy probably, matter of fact, he made them all. And I think he had probably about a 25, 30 roll plus. And I was just standing on the side, so everybody was making money. Hey, it beats like that. Finally, I think after that, the dice went maybe 2, 3 more people, table got real cold, and folks finally started leaving. So I like, okay, fine. My slot opened up, stick right, 2, was able to get over there. I was like, okay, you know what? Until I, you know, get dialed in, I'm not committing any big money to the table, which really I wasn't going to do that till 0:30 in the morning anyhow. So, anyhow, got up there, bought it for $500. Okay, the dealer gave me back some reds, some greens, just like I got here, and it was a $15 table. Put the dealers up for 212. Went up 555. If I'm shooting, I'm always up on the ATX. That's just the bottom line. So I initially start off with my usual 3V set, using the spread eagle chopper. And those of you that know about it, know what I'm talking about. Those that don't, well, you need to go check out Cashier Cage, because that's been my grip of choice. So came in with the spread eagle chopper, and got to the table, lined up my shot. The first throw right out the gate, the dice, they didn't act it like that. One dice kind of dug in because it was a brand new dice. They were sharp as hell. That's snake eyes. And that got me worried, because I know if that had happened again, I was going to draw the the wrath of the pit boss down on me. So I said, okay, let me give it a shot again. Try to get my spread eagle grip going. See if I could, land him just right. And I'm gonna tell you once again. And a spread eagle grip, for those, when you bring your hand around, you just spread out your fingers and release. If the dice acted like that, I would have been a happy camper. Once again, the dice dug in. One dice landed back here, one dice went up to the wall. And I was actually trying to lay them down like two flat tires, but they was being scattered all over the place. Then, just like I said, the pit boss looked up at me. He's like, sir, both dice to the back wall, please. Knew it was coming. It's like, all right, got you. So I say, you know what? Seemed like because the dice were brand new and, you could feel those sharp cutting edges on them. I said, all right, you know what? Let me go to something that I hadn't tried for a minute. Instead of going from on the deck chopper, let me throw the chopper off the deck. And hadn't practiced that in a while, but it seemed like it was a worthwhile adjustment. And came down. Dice came out a little better, not exactly like that. It's a 4, 6, 10. And yeah, dice came out like that. And from there on out, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for, try to get a quick 3 hits and down, go inside, 66 inside, 3 hits and down. As Uncle Mel would say, get my staying alive money back in my rack real quick. So that was the strategy I decided to go with. Once I decided that I was gonna now go with the off the deck chopper, because it seemed like the dice were laying down a little better that way. Like that. 2, 3, 5. Okay. And went for my 3 hits. I got my 3 hits in, was able to regress, got my as soon as I regress, let's see, where do you pull it down? As soon as I regress from what I got out there, 110, went down to 66 inside, $15 table, and I was like, okay, toss looking real good, dice are laying down good, so the off the deck chopper was going to be the way how I was going to have to deal with the table from there on out. And I was throwing a regular 3V, nothing fancy. Dice out. 5, 3, 8. So after getting a couple of good toss in, I think the first hand I had the table was about a 10 roll hand or so. Like I said, once I switched from the spread eagle grip to the regular off the deck chopper grip, the dice started laying down proper. That's what I was looking for. And the strategy was going to be real simple. Get 3 hits. That's a 6, 2, 8. Still got dice flying all over. 6, 2, 8. Easy 8. Alright, get your 75. 5. So we'll get our 3 hits in. And you got to remember, all this was in preparation. Then I'll go to 66 inside. All this was in preparation for, I was plotting to come back down at 2 o'clock in the morning. And yes, go 960 across. Okay. Uh, so after that roll there, I felt pretty good. That was the first time I had gotten a table. By that time, it was about uh, 4, about coming up on 6 o'clock. So it took a minute to get in the table. I think we was more lollygagging with our friends. My wife was anyhow, and by that time it was time to go eat. So got off the table right about 6 o'clock ish, and went hit the buffet. Uh, Great buffet meal. Meal wasn't bad at all. Meal was not bad. But by the time I came back out from the buffet, of course the table was packed. Okay, we finished eating right about 7:30, 8 o'clock ish, and come back out to the craps pit, and just they had opened up a second table finally, but both of them was now packed, so I couldn't get in the table. So I'm standing there watching. I was like, okay, you know what? Forget this. Table seemed to be cold anyhow. Couldn't find a spot to bully my way in. I decided I'll go back down here and go look at the bubble crap. Now I hate bubble crap. Okay, but like okay, if I'm gonna play a game, might as well be something at least I can, you know, along the line of craps. Go down there to the bubble crap machine, and I think I put like $10 in. Start playing. Was the first thing to come up 7. Boop. Took all my money. Pull another $10 out. Go 1-on-1 straight across. 6 was the point. Boom. Next row 7. 7 out. Took my money. I like, you know what? Okay. Since this thing is taking my money every 5 minutes, let me just try something. Lay the 4 for $10. Put $1 in all the other numbers. The point came up 6. Next row 7 out. Boom! I'm collecting on the 4, the later 4. And let me tell you, I sat down there from about 8 till about 11 o'clock. When I got up off the table, I had $550. I cashed in $550. And just running that strategy, of course, I was plussing it up bigger. Sometime I'd have $100 lay on the 4, and guess what? If the 4 got hit, I would just martingale, just double it, go to 200, and I think the worst case scenario I got was maybe had the 4 laid for 400 because it got hit at 200. Okay, and never ended up going any higher than that. And all the other numbers I was still playing across for $1, one, all the way across, because I said to hell with it. I'm just gonna make my money on with the house. I'm gonna wait for that big red to come around. And boy, let me tell you, it worked out brilliantly. That's the only way I could put it, And then after I said my goal was to get to 500, I got to 500. Got up, went back down to go check the craps pit. My spot had opened back up. Got back on the table. I was like, okay, here we go. And bought in for $200. Again, until I got my toss really feeling good, dialed in perfect, I wasn't about to put no serious money out there, so let's put $200. Got back on the table. Again, now that I knew that my toss of choice was going to be the off the deck chopper, that's a 415. I was okay with that. I was like, okay. And 3V. My 3V set seemed to be working well. So I go up 1 unit. After I had regressed my bet from after 3 hits at 110 inside down to 66, I would just up 1 unit from there on out, collect and press and keep going. The next hand, when I got back on the table at night, I got lucky. The guy before me, he had about, I bought him for 200 bucks. When he got finished, I had, I was up to about 400. Okay, so made a nice 200 bucks at him, and uh, he had about a 30 roll hand. Okay, but again, I wasn't betting. I started off with 6-8, recouped my initial investment, took that down, and then just kind of grow with the shooter as he went along, kind of spread out. And before I know it, I like, man, I got all the numbers covered, and this cat is just killing it. So now I started pressing up and all that stuff, and yeah, was able. I think I had about two. On him, I probably made about 250. So the next guy next to him passed the dice, came straight to me. Well, like, okay, now I gotta. It's my turn, and dice came to me. Hey, I'm out there. Did my 110 inside. I'm gonna go for 3 hits and down, get my staying alive money off the table, and get some hits in. Give me a second. Let me close this gate here. Hear the gate rattling. Right back. Okay, yep. Alright, back in the house. Yeah, when the wind, right now we got a little wind blowing through the area, and sometimes it caused my gate to unhook. So, yeah, where was I? So, anyhow, I went up, the dice came to me, went 110 across, and, well, let me tell you, I I just lucked out, had a very nice roll. I had about a 25 roll hand, okay? 25 roller. And the dice were laying down proper. Everybody was making money because, like I said, the guy before me just had a 30 roll. Now here it is. You know, I was seemed like forever. Rolled and rolled and rolled. And I'm gonna put it. His roll was probably more like a 40. Mine was probably closer to 30-ish or so because I held them for about close to an hour. He held them close for a little bit more than an hour or so. Because when I got finished up, it was almost like what was it, about 1 o'clock in the morning after my roll. You know, his roll first, then my roll. So colored up to the tune of 1,200 bucks. Okay, 1,200 bucks. It's like, yes, all right, that's what I wanted. But then again, since it was so late in the morning, I was like, okay, you know, tables doing high. I was like, okay, that was a good roll. Chances are you're not gonna get a third person back to back. And I was happy with my roll. I told him, call me up. I left, took that 1,200 bucks, went straight to the cage, colored up, and then went back down there to the bubble crap machine. I was like, let me kill some time. Maybe the table might clear out. Cause if I want to go down there and, you know, commit some serious cash on the table for 1 or 2 rolls, I don't want no bunch of folks on the table, no landmines, no anything. You know, if I can have it perfectly quiet, that'd be even better. Nobody out there. But anyhow, went back down, got back on the bubble crap machine, okay? And boy, oh boy, sticking with my same old strategy, laying the 4 and martingale if it got hit. Ended up picking up another 200 bucks. Sat there for about a half hour-ish or so. And by the time I got up, I had put another 200 bucks in my pocket. I like, well, hell, this ain't bad. But I want to get back on the crap table. I go back down there, and hell, table's packed. I'm like, damn, aren't these people gonna sleep? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, coming up on 2:30-ish. I said by that time I'm beat anyhow. Screw it. I'm happy with what I got. I'm up. I'm up. So not gonna take and screw around and give anything back for the night. So rather than getting back on the table, I took my behind the bed. Went to sleep a winner that night. Was that Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning, got up and got something to eat, breakfast. Me and my wife, we're late sleepers. Well, hell, I didn't get to bed till about 3 o'clock that morning. She was already up there. She went up a few minutes before me. So by the time we came downstairs the next day, after we rummaged around up there and made our way down, it was about 2:30 in the afternoon. Uh, we had some little munchy snacks there, so we just stayed in the room and ate, watched a little TV, came down. So I go straight back to the craps pit. Uh, and now the table's full, okay? And I'm happy. I'm like, hey, my toss is working. The chopper is working nicely. I want to get back on there. The off the deck chopper is working. So, like, okay. But I can't get on the table because, again, my stick right two positions taken and the table's just full. There's only one little slap up in the hook, okay? Stick left, I don't know, the far hook, what you would be standing right next to the dealer. What's that gonna be? Stick left to stick left hook all the way. Just in the far right hook, I was standing literally right next to the dealer. Hell, you would think I was part of the crew working the table. So I was like, okay, I'm shooting out of position, never shot out the hook. So I'm not really gonna commit any big money here or do anything. $15 table, went 6-8 when the dice came around. 6-8 everybody as the dice came around. Couple of decent rolls while waiting for the dice to come up. Dice finally came up to me, and now all along I'm thinking, how the hell am I gonna throw these dice? What toss am I gonna use? Am I gonna be able to, contort my way in there so I can throw the chopper from out the hook, which I really never practiced. And so the dice, they push the dice out. They say, you shouldn't shoot it. Yep, put some money in the pass line. The dice came up to me, and I kind of, basically just like I'm standing here, but I'm standing in the hook, so I get the dealer literally. Matter of fact, I'm pushing the dealer over. I was like, can you give me a little room? Because I'm standing right next to the dealer. That's on my side. And the dice come to me. I contort my body in there, get in there. And when I went for the initial grip, as soon as I started pushing my hand down, I took them up. And I was like, hey, you know what? This don't feel bad. So I let them go. They went kind of like that, So I really wasn't throwing the chopper correctly. Actually, the toss I was using looked more like John over there at Pro Craps. Big shout out to John. What up, buddy? So the toss that I was using, my chopper toss started coming out more like John because I couldn't get a good, comfortable grip on them. And I'll tell you what, I commenced to going on a hellacious roll. I held them dice for right about 45 minutes, closer to an hour. And everybody's just cheering me on. Never hit the all tall small in none of my rolls at the casino this time around. But on that particular roll, all my numbers were inside numbers. And I start off with 6-8 on myself and just kind of press before, I had the 6 and 8 was at 90. The 5 and 9 was at 75. The 4 and 10 was at 50. And my chip rack was just filigree. And I had over 30 roll. Easy. I can't say exactly how much it was. Probably close to 25 to 30-ish up in there. And shooting out the hook. Okay, shooting out of position. I'm gonna say that was beginner's luck for shooting out the hook that go around, and it worked out brilliantly. Uh, the only thing I could do as far as throwing it was just think of how John at Pro Craps, you know, you guys see him, you watch him, he comes in, he picks them up, he grabs them, and then he just kind of, you know, throw them out, and that's kind of like how I was winging it. Okay, uh, I really wanted to go to, you know, I was gonna go to try to go to a par toss from out the hook, but again, a the up in the hook, you don't have much room there to operate with. It just didn't feel. I couldn't get in the comfort zone trying to, if I was going to throw a par toss from out the hook, I would. It just didn't feel right. It would have probably looked something like that. But yeah. So I had about a 30-ish roll, and right after my roll, I colored up. Okay, I colored up. That was the first time the dice I got to my hand that morning. I colored up. I think I had bought them for $100, and colored up with about 500. Okay, another 500. Went straight to the cage, colored up, and I like, well, hell, I ain't been doing too bad at this bubble crap thing. Let's see if it's for real. So I go back down there to the bubble crap machine, and I'm like, okay, where we at in time? All right, I ain't gonna let this thing go too long. I go back down there to the bubble crap machine, sit back down, right off the bat, laid a 4 for $50. First roll, come out 7, got paid. I like, you know what? Sometimes this machine can go on a run and roll a bunch of 7. Let's press it up. I went to 100. Next roll, come out 7, got paid. I like, okay, not bad. Go back down to $25. Think it set the point. I put $1 in all the numbers, laid a 4 for 25, and as the roll got a little bit longer each time, I would increment it by $5, figuring, hey, the 7's gonna come in my favor. And if whatever the 4 got hit at, okay, if a 4 was rolled, and let's say I had, okay, $50 on the 4, I would immediately double to 100, okay? And if I got hit at 100, yes, I would go to 200, okay? Like I said, worst case scenario, I found myself at $400, but by then I had a pretty good shipwreck going, or something like that going on the bubble crap. And yeah, man, that little strategy called you martingale, so you just determined to get a win, but again, at what cost? How much pain can you withstand? Because a couple of times I had to reach in my pocket, pull out some $100 real quick, and feed them into the machine to keep it going. But every time I did it, I would get, especially if the roll went long, I would end up getting screwed a couple times because it would hit a couple 4s, and instead of having a nice little short roll of about maybe on average 4 to 7 rolls ish or so, it would, sometimes the machine would go on to like have a 25 roll plus or something, and maybe hit 3 4s, and I done martingale that up all the way. And but eventually, yes, Big Red would come, and I would get my lay back. And like I said, but I'm playing all the other numbers too at a lower level, always, 1 1 1 1 1, just $1 across on all of them. But I'm banking on the 4, and maybe it's just that machine doesn't roll a whole heck of a lot of 4. But then, if it had a long roll, well, you can rest assured what would happen next. You would get a bunch of 7s back to back to back to back, and I'm up on that 4 with that 4 laid, and it's just hitting, bing, 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 bing. And anytime after a long roll, I would just put a $100 lay and take my chances that a 4 is going to be rolled. And guess what? That 7 will come sometime 3, 4 times. And so, all that being said, this trip to the casino was very profitable. Walked away, left down there up $1,000. I was probably up 1,500 at one point, uh, just for the trip. And but I went played some slots, played some 3-card poker and stuff, and gave my wife some change on the side and all that. And yeah, when all was said and done, I left out of there up 1,000 to the good. You know, hey, the room was comp, food was comp, so basically it was a good trip. Okay, it was a good trip, and like I said, a couple people to thank. Mel, you know, using Mel's strategy of 3 hits and down, getting your staying alive money off the table, putting that back in your rack first off, and then you know, once you get that down, you get your 3 hits out the way. After that is collect and press, and the sky's the limit. And I was able to put together. Well, here's the kicker too. Because the table was packed, I didn't get to shoot much down there. I'm gonna say, in being down there for 2 days at the casino, I probably only shot a total of maybe less than 10 times. Maybe, you know, probably about eight times, eight or less is more like it. So I didn't expend much cash on the table. Spent time on the table, but you know, anytime after my roll, which I had some very decent roll, I would leave the table. I didn't stick around to see what else happened, to see if it was a hot table. Again, I didn't trust some of the shooters on that damn table anyhow. Too many randos, and yeah, it just worked out proper. And I still hate bubble crap. Hate the shit out that game. But you know what? That bubble crap machine kept me in the game. Plussed up my bankroll nicely on that bubble crap, and didn't do too bad overall. So there you have it, you know. So, and I only ended up on the bubble crap machine because the table was packed. Couldn't get on the regular crap table. So yeah, bubble crap to the rescue. And like I said, you know, John at Pro Crap. Like I said, big shout out to him. I you know, ended up once I was shooting out of position, shooting from in the hook down there, I quickly figured out, you know what, the best way to, I don't want to call it a chopper, but best way to throw the chopper from out of that position would be to kind of throw them kind of like how John does, you know, because I couldn't get my regular natural chopper grip and position and stance down, so I kind of had to wing it, you know, improvise a little on the go. But the monster roll I did put down with the chopper, the off the deck chopper, so 527 7-out, was you know, was textbook chopper. I was able to keep them cropped tightly, land them like they was on a Persian carpet, and I was Alibaba bringing them in, and they stayed tight, they stayed cropped. I was hitting lots of primary hits on that. That's what I told you with that 3V. Man, with that 3V, I start off with after regressing, I started off from $18, 6 and 8, and got them up to 90. Okay, the 6 and 8 was at 90, the 5 and 9 was at 75, and the 4 and 10 was at 50. I was just pressing, collecting, pressing, and my chip rack was just growing. So, yeah, big shout out to Cashier Cage on the chopper, bruh. The chopper's way to go. You ain't lie, you know. And I know Cage said it a while back. Sometimes you never know with the chopper what you're gonna get, how you're gonna feel, or how it's gonna react. And that first day, once I went to the spread eagle chopper and I started throwing it, and I just couldn't get him to lay down proper. But as soon as I changed and went to off the deck chopper, everything started clicking, and like they say, the rest is history. Alright, it's been the Sarge, just getting my little trip report in for Choctaw. Normally I sit down inside and do it, but since I was out here, I said, what the hell? Alright, folks, I'm gonna shut it down here. Yo, it's been the Sarge on a Monday evening getting it in. Stay safe, my peeps. Sarge out.